you are sitting alone in your apartment, surrounded by the crushing weight of adult responsibilities. You just spent hours paying your rent and staring at your diminishing bank account. You answered work emails and bought groceries just to survive another exhausting week. Your body is 28 or 32. You are legally a fully grown adult, but the exact moment you are finally alone, the moment the apartment is completely quiet, you don't read a financial journal. Instead, you turn on a specific 1999 cartoon. You spend 2 hours watching TikTok videos of old Nintendo games and Tamagotchis. You spend $100 on a vintage Lego set, trying to feel a specific emotion. And then the heavy guilt hits you. You look in the bathroom mirror and think, I am a complete fraud. I am in my 30s, but I feel like a helpless child. You ask your reflection, why can't I just grow up? Why do I always escape? Stop. Stop shaming yourself right now. I know how much shame you carry. Recently, a 32-year-old posted a heartbreaking confession on a massive Reddit community board. I make $80,000 a year, I am married, and I have a mortgage. But my absolute favorite part of the day is coming home from the office and watching SpongeBob SquarePants. I feel like I am faking my entire adult life. Is there something fundamentally broken inside of me? Am I just an immature person? The comments were flooded with tens of thousands of millennials saying, "Me too." Listen to me carefully. Your obsession with your childhood is absolutely not immature. It is not a character flaw. It is not Peter Pan syndrome, and it is not weakness. It is a highly sophisticated, unconscious neurological survival tactic designed to keep you safe. Welcome to Barely Psychology. We dissect human behavior using actual science, not cheap generational gaslighting. So grab your notebook. Today, we perform a psychological autopsy on your nostalgia and generational exhaustion. Society and older generations love to call millennials the Peter Pan generation. They accuse you of refusing to grow up. But clinical psychology has a more accurate term. It is a documented clinical psychological defense mechanism officially known as regressive coping. Regressive coping is when your brain automatically reverts to an earlier, much safer stage of human development. Your brain does this because your adult reality is simply too traumatic or unpredictable to process safely. Previous generations actually looked forward to adulthood. It meant true freedom, economic stability, and a house. But for millennials, adulthood was a systemic scam. You were sold a dream that no longer existed. You graduated directly into a massive global financial crisis and an impossibly expensive housing market. You face stagnant wages that do not match inflation, crushing student debt, and endless global uncertainty. You did exactly what society told you to do, and you got absolutely nothing in return. Dr. Konstantin Sedekidis, a leading psychological researcher at the University of Southampton, spent decades studying the exact function and purpose of nostalgia inside the human brain. He discovered something truly groundbreaking. Nostalgia is not just a bittersweet, useless, or pathetic emotion. It is a powerful neurological defense mechanism against existential threat, severe anxiety, and profound loneliness. When your daily adult life feels absolutely terrifying, chaotic, and entirely out of your personal control, your brain literally acts like a biological time machine to desperately protect your underlying sanity. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, is overwhelmed by the constant threat of your adult reality. So, it physically forces your body to intensely crave the late 90s or early 2000s. Why? Because that was the absolute last time your nervous system felt completely and entirely safe. You are desperately mourning the tragic loss of your own psychological safety and peace. The brilliant author Malcolm Harris explains this devastating psychological phenomenon perfectly in his highly recommended, eye-opening book, Kids These Days: Human Capital and the Making of Millennials. Harris argues that millennials are the absolute first generation to be treated as optimized human capital. You were forced into hyper-competitive schooling and endless standardized testing to build the perfect resume.
You were systematically trained to view yourself as an economic machine that must constantly perform. By the time you reached your mid-20s, your biological battery was not just low, it was destroyed. You entered adulthood already deeply burnt out, running entirely on empty fumes and severe, chronic anxiety. So, when you sit in your apartment and buy vintage toys or re-watch comfortable movies, you are subconsciously administering a massive, targeted dose of dopamine to a severely wounded brain. You are using nostalgia as a neurological pacifier. It is emotional first aid for a traumatized generation. But here is the real danger. Here is the tragic, invisible trap that you are stuck in. While regressive coping is an incredibly effective tool to keep you alive in the short term, if left unchecked, it prevents you from building a tolerable, meaningful reality in the present moment. You are merely numbing the pain with the past, instead of actively curing the disease of the present. We need an immediate, strategic psychological reset. Stop attacking your inner child for wanting safety. As your mind's surgeon, I'm going to give you 3 clinical, non-negotiable rules to heal. Rule number 1 is the nostalgia audit. You must completely stop consuming your past blindly and automatically. The next time you feel the intense urge to furiously search for a childhood comfort show, I want you to pause for exactly 5 seconds and take a deep, grounding breath. Ask yourself a very specific question. What exactly is making me feel unsafe or overwhelmed right now? Identify the adult trigger. Is it a looming work deadline? Is it terrifying financial anxiety? Name the stressor out loud. Bring the unconscious anxiety out of the dark and into the light. Rule number 2. The Controlled Regression Protocol. Do not let your nostalgia consume your entire weekend. If you let it run wild, it becomes an avoidance tactic. Instead, you must aggressively box it in. Give yourself exactly 30 minutes of completely guilt-free, pure, and absolutely unapologetic childhood comfort. Watch the old cartoon. Build the expensive Lego set. Play the pixelated retro video game. But you must set a strict, non-negotiable physical alarm on your smartphone before you begin. When that alarm rings, the time machine closes. You must stand up and return to the present moment. You control the regression. The regression does not control you. You are the master of your mind. Rule number 3. Build a safe now. Adulthood currently feels like an inescapable nightmare to your nervous system. This is because you only associate it with bills, emails, endless chores, and profound daily suffering. You must physically create one adult habit that exists purely and entirely for your own personal joy. Buy the expensive coffee and drink it in complete silence. Go for a long walk without your smartphone. You must prove to your nervous system through repeated physical action that being an adult can be safe.
When you consistently apply these 3 clinical tools, something absolutely incredible happens inside your mind. The crushing, suffocating shame of feeling like a fake adult finally and completely disappears from your life. You are no longer running away from the present moment in pure, unadulterated terror. You finally realize that it is completely okay to carry your inner child with you, to nurture it and keep it safe, while still standing tall as the powerful architect of your adult life. You are adapting to a hyper-demanding, economically hostile world that broke its fundamental promises to you. It is incredibly hard, and you have every right to feel exhausted. But I promise you, you are not broken. So here is your immediate, non-negotiable, and highly effective action plan for the rest of today. As soon as this video ends, do not click on the next recommended video. Stop the screen. Put your phone face down in another room. Go walk into your bathroom and look directly in the mirror. Say out loud, "I am not a failure. My brain is just seeking safety. And today, I will build that safety." Protect your peace fiercely. Set your boundaries against the noise of the world. You have got this. It's barely psychology, but it absolutely works every single time.